Good evening, and thank you for joining us here at CBS 10 News. I'm Adam Wagner. Residents in Morrill lost power last night for 2.5 hours after a major windstorm blew through town. Many trees were damaged, limbs blew off, and many split in two, which cut off electricity. There was also a report of a shed roof landing on top of a trailer. There was not much rain or thunderstorms in the area, but wind gusts were extremely strong. No one was reportedly injured in the storm. Many people spent the morning sweeping up tree limbs and cutting broken pieces off remaining trunks. No estimate of damage has been reported. It was a day of celebration for the small town of Albin, Wyoming today. The city of 120 people participated in the 72nd annual Albin Day. The morning started off with a kids parade and an adult parade followed. Some other activities included a sand volleyball tournament, a classic car show, and a public dance. The tiny town is proud of its heritage and the fact that they have lasted a long time.
This is basically our 72nd Albin Day celebration. Normally every year the community gets together and we have a parade, we have some assorted fun activities, we have some roping contests, some rodeo type events. Basically it's just a yearly community effort.
The town has been struck by tragedy, though, and to dedicate the memory of residents who died, the town built Memorial Park, which pays tribute to the lives that were lost early in this new millennium. It was an appropriate way to start off Albin Day.
Memorial Park over here, we had some tragedy beset us in the first part of the new millennium, and we built a memorial to the children that we lost, and it's just the closeness of the community.
Today's events lasted throughout the night. Through the summer, the Saddle Club of Scottsbluff will hold 3 horse shows open to all of the public. It gives horse lovers a chance to ride in competition and enter their breeds in a beauty contest. This 2-day event consists of a halter performance, which was held today, and tomorrow is the timed events.
This is the second of a series of 3 open horse shows that we're holding at the Saddle Club grounds. Today is halter and performance classes, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll have speed events.
The Saddle Club was organized to provide fellowship, education, and competition for area horsemen. It is a show for all ages, and this morning's activities depend mostly on the horse. Tomorrow the rider will have a big part to play, though, in how well they compete.
Halter is basically a beauty pageant for the horses. They're judged on how they match the perfect standard for their breed, whatever their breed would be. And performance is basically that. We judge how well the horse performs different maneuvers.
Timed events are set to begin at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The NAACP's 91st National Convention began today. President Kwesi Mfume and Chairman Julian Bond held an opening press conference for the convention, which runs until Thursday. They discussed their civil rights agenda, voter registration efforts, the Confederate flag, and minorities in the television industry. Mfume believes that the movement of the Confederate flag from the top of the State House dome to the State House grounds is not a compromise at all.
Well, you know, I was born at night, but not last night. That's not a compromise. And so our continued boycott of South Carolina continues. We're meeting, as you know, with members of the motion picture industry to get them to impose a moratorium on filming movies there, which is a large part of the economy. We've been absolutely delighted by the sort of interracial support that we have on the ground in South Carolina and places like Myrtle Beach and Hilton Head, where there is a significant tourist impact as a result of this.
Presidential candidates Al Gore and George W. Bush are scheduled to address the organization this week. President Clinton may rethink the timetable for the Pentagon's proposed missile defense project after last night's failed test. The White House says he's awaiting recommendations from the Defense Department. John Huck has more.
After a small problem with its battery, a Minuteman II target missile blasted off from Vandenberg Air Force Base 2 hours late. 4,300 miles away on Kwajalein Atoll, the kill missile roared toward the heavens in a third and crucial test of the missile defense system. 2 missiles on a suicide collision. The Minuteman spent fuel, creating a magnificent light show for those on the ground. But after the oohs and ahs came the disappointment. At the Pentagon, Lieutenant General Ronald Kadish, the director of missile defense, got the bad news of a rocket malfunction.
Our radar sensors say that we didn't get the kill vehicle separation.
As seen in this Pentagon animation, the kill missile is supposed to separate from the rocket boosters. It did not happen, and a balloon decoy on board the Minuteman failed to deploy, scrapping a $100 million experiment before any of the key systems could be tested. Information that could help President Clinton decide whether or not to go forward with the $30 billion missile defense program.
Last night's breakdown gives more ammo to the critics of the scaled-down Star Wars system. A space shield they say is too expensive, and with this second failure, has too many holes.
General Kadish, meanwhile, says there are bound to be failures in the testing of any new weapon system.
This is rocket science, so there's a lot of things that could happen in this process. In this particular case, it appears it happened in an area that has little to do with the functionality of the key component of the system that we're testing.
Last night's test was supposed to turn 2 missiles into space dust, but what's been left decimated is the morale of military planners and defense contractors, and perhaps the goal of getting a space shield up by 2005. At Vandenberg Air Force Base, I'm John Huck for CBS News.
Thank you, John, for that report. This weekend has started off no different than the rest of the week with the hot and humid temperatures. It was in the mid-90s all day long with partly cloudy skies. If you're out in the sun, you probably got a suntan or a sunburn like most of us. And that will be in later with our 5-day forecast. First, though, let's take a look at the weather conditions right now. With your first look weather, temperature 79 degrees. Skies are fair with winds coming out of the northeast at 18 miles an hour. Tonight's forecast fair with an overnight low of 64 degrees. After the break, we'll tell you more about the disease that affects over 16 million people. But first, let's take another look at those winning Powerball numbers.
Ford Windstar is designed with safety in mind, because sometimes you just don't see it coming. Now get a quadruple 5-star safety-rated Ford Windstar with 0-9 financing plus $1,000 cash back, only from your Rocky Mountain Ford store.
We're reinventing service at the IRS.
Making the changes that make things easier for you.
This is Tom speaking. How can I help you?
Internal Revenue Service, Maria speaking. What can I do for you?
We're expanding our hotline service, so you can reach an IRS expert 24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
Now enter it on line 7. That'll do it.
The IRS website is loaded with taxpayer information.
You'll find answers to almost 200 frequently asked questions right here.
On our special problem-solving days, taxpayers can walk into an IRS office and get help on the spot.
Got a question? Come on in.
And for tough, complex problems, there's our problem resolution program.
You'll be assigned your own personal advocate.
The problem I've been having is like you guys are giving me the runaround to talk to the same person more than once.
No bouncing around. I'll stay with you until your problem is solved. We want to make it easy for you.
The Internal Revenue Service.
Working to put service first.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I know how important it is to give blood. I have leukemia and need a blood transfusion at least each month. Every day I'm thankful for the strangers who donate blood and help me feel better.
Children like Jocelyn need blood to stay healthy, and I'm encouraging you to donate blood to help children like Jocelyn who are battling leukemia. Please call your local blood center or hospital blood bank and schedule an appointment to donate blood.
Diabetes is a disease that over 16 million people in the United States suffer from, but half of them don't know that they have the illness. The reason that it's hard to pinpoint is because the symptoms are vague. Constant thirst, frequent urination, and fatigue are a few of the signs. In the Panhandle, it's even a little tougher to decipher because of the dry heat.
Treatments for diabetes are diet,
and meal planning. Sometimes, many times when you think of a diet, you think of something you don't want to do. And truly a diabetic meal plan is something that all of us should be following. So diet, exercise, activity, then medication, oral medications, or insulin if that's needed. Those are the main forms of treatment for diabetes.
Phyllis Smith is a registered nurse and diabetes control project coordinator. There is a support group for those who suffer from diabetes that will resume in the fall. She wants to help the quality of life for those with the disease and make sure they know how to take care of themselves.
Diabetes is an obstacle that can be handled. It's something that a team approach to it is best. Work with your physician, work with your diabetic educator, and certainly involve your family. A lot of times when a man is diagnosed with diabetes, the wife becomes involved because she's the cook. But when the wife is diagnosed with diabetes, then many times the man or the husband, the significant other, takes kind of a side seat, and he and the rest of the family, even the children, need to become involved because, again, a diabetic meal plan is a healthy plan for all of us.
If you have any questions about diabetes, you can call the Panhandle Community Services. In Massachusetts, father of 4 is killed after an argument among parents over their children's hockey game turns violent. Andrea Silverman reports.
He was a great father, a gentle person, was always here for his kids. He was the father that all the other children wanted to come on the field trips, you know, to be there. For the kids, it's just so hard.
Anthony Barbuzzi says his brother-in-law Michael Costin lived for his 4 children. The single father died Thursday after a fist fight at the Burbank Ice Arena.
Police say both of the men were at the rink with their sons. There was a pickup hockey game going on, and it was supposed to be non-contact. But when things started to get a little rough, both of the parents got involved and got into their own fight.
Police say it turned violent, that the man who lives here, 42-year-old Thomas Junta of Reading, hit Costin with his fists, and Costin was knocked unconscious. The flag at the rink is now at half-staff. At the Costin's house, friends and family stop by.
We want to thank the community of Linfield. They've gathered around this family and they've taken him in, and they've just been tremendous.
That support was clear at an open meeting for parents and kids. Residents of both Reading and Linfield came to talk about violence and how to help the 2 families.
We don't know the whole story right now. You just have to realize it's a tragedy for both families.
As for the Costin children, ages 9, 10, 11, and 12, they're staying with their cousins.
These kids are facing such a tough battle. They have no father. It's brutal.
And now the children and other family members are preparing to say goodbye. In Linfield, Andrea Silverman.
Thank you, Andrea. Nearly a foot of water fell in the hardest hit area of suburban Minneapolis in 2 hours last night. Roads look like rivers and playgrounds look like water parks. One man drowned while tubing and playing in a drainage ditch. The strong current sucked him into a culvert. More than 200 homes were flooded in Eagan. Early damage estimates stand at $8 million.
The size of the window is this big around, just water pouring into the basement. The next one, boom, and then it starts pouring in that one, and then boom, the next one. And it was loud, and the glass just flew. You could hear it hitting the walls. And
after the break, Matt will be in weather, so stay with us.
Vehicle running in top 4.
Nebraska Husker defense allowed an average of just 12.5 a game. That was the 3rd lowest in Division I. The Huskers did lose 15 lettermen on defense. On top of that, they lose their longtime defensive coordinator, Charlie McBride. But one thing the Husker D hasn't lost, the desire to be the best in the country. Adam Wagoner takes a look at how the Black Shirts will hold up their end of the pursuit of a national championship.
Hit from behind the tech, loses the football. It's going to be scooped up by the Huskers and run in by...
They say offense wins games, defense wins championships. And former Nebraska national champions have backed that up. But coming into this year, the Black Shirts are being questioned.
Being in Nebraska, I don't feel defense ever going to be the weakness.
But the defense does have some big shoes to fill, starting with longtime defensive coordinator Charlie McBride.
Our defense is going to continue to be based on teamwork. Our guys are going to be very relentless in what they do.
Junior Mark Vedral was penciled in to be the starter at weak side linebacker, but was suspended after a sexual assault charge. All-Americans Ralph and Mike Brown were lost to graduation. Mike Brown was last year's leading tackler and had 5 interceptions. To fill his void, the team will look to senior Joe Walker.
I got some big shoes to fill, but I feel to myself that, you know, I'm capable of getting the job done just as well as he did.
The anchor of the Black Shirts will be middle linebacker Carlos Polk, who had 83 tackles last year and looks to win the Buckus Award like Trev Alberts in 1993. Preseason All-American Kyle Vanden Bosch is a stud of the defensive line, along with mates Lauren Kaiser, Jason Lohr, and Des Moines Adams.
You know that they're going to get their job done, and so you just have to focus in on what you have to do.
The rest of the Big 12 and the country know that with defensive tradition like Nebraska, they don't rebuild, they just reload, and everything's going to be just fine.
Once again, there's been a proven success pattern here. There's a great foundation laid. What we want to try to do is we just want to continue to build on that foundation and really make our defense better this next year.
Alexander now bowls his way, and he's into the secondary. Dan Alexander, the foot race. I think he's going to win it.
It's no secret that the running game is a big part of Nebraska's offense. Opponents know they're going to run. The question is, can they stop it?
As a team, we're going to succeed because we have so many guys that are willing to step up, so many guys that are able to step up.
Big Red finished 4th in the nation in rushing yards per game last season, and their leading rusher Eric Crouch is back after gaining 889 yards and entered the end zone 16 times. In 2000, Crouch hopes to join former QBs such as Colorado's Darian Hagan and Air Force's Bo Morgan to rush and pass for over 1,000 yards.
It's something to just be a great honor to be a part of, and to join that 1,000 club would be a tremendous goal to set for myself.
Joining number 7 in the backfield are seniors Dan Alexander and Correll Buckhalter. Together, the three combined for 2,416 yards. Buckhalter is 21st on Nebraska's all-time rushing list and looks to be a major contribution to the option attack.
Be a 1,000-yard rusher, and you know, hopefully, me and Dan both can be 1,000-yard rushers, and you know that'll really help our team.
Thrown to the mix, sophomore Darren Diedrich, junior college transfer Thunder Collins, and the pivotal Big Red staple, fullback Willie Miller. And the running game should help lead the Huskers to the Orange Bowl come January 3rd.
And there is no question that we'll expect a great deal of efficiency from that unit as we go through the season.
Down the middle, got him open. Nobody within 30 yards of it. It's Tracy Westbrook, and it's touchdown, Nebraska.
Most everyone knows that the running game is the focus of Nebraska's offense, but the passing game is crucial in order to establish a running attack.
I don't even know how many balls I've caught, but it's probably more than I ever thought I would. So hopefully I can end my career on a good note and go out a national champion, no matter how many passes I catch.
Senior Matt Davison needs only 11 catches to move up to 2nd on the all-time receptions list at Nebraska, next to the 1972 Heisman Trophy winner, Johnny Rodgers. And starting at the other receiver spot is senior Bobby Newcomb, who is not only a deep threat, who can kill you on special teams as well.
It's a lot more natural to me, and I've developed a couple of little instinctive moves that I didn't have the last couple of years.
At the tight end position is junior Tracy Wistrom, who averaged 26.8 yards every time he caught the ball.
And once we get that running game started, I think the passing game is going to open wide up for everybody, whether it be Matt or Bobby or myself or whoever it might be.
And distributing the ball will be quarterback Eric Crouch, who threw only 4 interceptions and had an NCAA rating of 127.93.
You know, it's a little easier going in knowing that you're the quarterback, but there's still that drive inside you that you want to get better and that you want to improve on everything. And
the passing game is in good hands this season, and look for them to be a key component for a couple of big wins this season.
Our passing needs a lot of work, and we're just really going back to the basics. And I'm not just really looking at this year. We're looking at the next 2 years, the next 3 for some of these girls, and so we're kind of rebuilding the foundations.
We have a lot of good talent, and I think we're going to be all right.
people don't expect much from us, but we might surprise a lot of people. Just if we can play together, you know, and build a strong team for next year, that'll be good.
In order to succeed on the football field, you need guys who will be an extension of your head coach in the huddle. Since that is the case, the Cornhuskers have 6 coaches on the gridiron. That's how many seniors were voted as captains today in Lincoln. Lineman Russ Huckstein and Jason Schwab, along with running back Dan Alexander, will serve as offensive leaders. For the Black Shirts are Carlos Polk and Kyle Vandenbosch and tackle Lauren Kaiser. Coach Frank Solich says usually only 4 guys are chosen as captains. They got a lot of votes, so it made sense to have 3 on each side. The captains are the most for a Nebraska team since the Huskers had 5 in 1998 and 95. Not only are the Cornhuskers dubbed #1 in every major poll in the country, but some of the key players on the team are being selected as hopefuls for position awards. Cornerback Keo Craver has been nominated for the Jim Thorpe Award, given to the nation's best defensive back, and senior middle linebacker Carlos Polk is among 20 finalists for the Dick Butkus Award, which obviously goes to the top player at his position. The only other black shirt to win the award was Trev Alberts in 1993. But Polk isn't worried about awards right now. He's focused on getting to the Orange Bowl as a unit.
At first, you know, I was worried when, you know, top 4 of our guys left, but I mean, this spring they came in and, you know, they really showed me something that they were ready to play. And this summer, their work ethic was unbelievable, you know, especially being so young. And I mean, I'm looking forward to the season now.
The Huskers open the season at home against the San Jose State Spartans a week from tomorrow. The 2-time Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos play their last preseason game tonight against the 49ers. They will have to cut down to 53 players by Sunday to get ready for the defending champs next Monday night. Right now, the team looks good, but the defense needs time to gel after losing Dale Carter and Tyrone Braxton. Jimmy Spencer, Terrell Buckley, and Bethel O'Neill are still battling for the starting cornerback job opposite Ray Crockett. Mike Shanahan will have one more chance to get a good look at some bubble players. 49ers coach Steve Mariucci has a long road ahead of him this year. Early in the first quarter, no score, Brian Greasy finds his top dog, Ed McCaffrey, for an 18-yard gain. Ed caught 4 balls before today's game, coming into today's game. And yes, I did say dog. Same drive at the 8. Terrell Davis looking like his old self, breaking tackles and rumbles in. He's giving up the old mile-high salute and he's starting the air hug. It's going to catch on, trust me. Second quarter, 3rd and goal for the has-beens, and Chief let down. Rigmeyer tries a bullet to Grandpa Rice for 6. And you thought Young to Rice was a hot connection. Denver finishes 4-0 in the preseason. They win 28-24. And let's take a look at some other NFL scores. Cincinnati loses to Detroit 21-13. Tampa Bay pounces on Kansas City 37-14. Tennessee 34-28 over Chicago. And Miami wins by 5 against New Orleans. Baltimore 24-17 over the Giants. And Pittsburgh Steelers lose by 7 to the Redskins. Deidre Lane is accused of killing her husband to collect on a $5 million insurance policy taken out on him earlier this year. Assistant District Attorney Gentry Caudell stated at a bond hearing that she laid in wait to kill Fred Lane upon his return home July 6 from Nashville, Tennessee. The 24-year-old Indianapolis Colts running back was shot in the chest and head as he walked in the front door, Mecklenburg County Superior Court Judge Richard Boner ruled Lane could be released on $100,000 secured bond. A life insurance policy for the football player had been taken out between 30 and 45 days before the shooting. Boner ordered Lane not to leave the county and warned that the $100,000 in cash or assets posted as bond will be forfeited if she failed to appear at future hearings. You know about Todd Helton and the run at 400, but one player you may not know about is looking to make a run at another landmark. Outfielder Juan Pierre has hit safely in his last 16 games. Granted, he's mighty short of the record set by Joe DiMaggio with 56, but he's a rookie and he continues to get the hits game after game. So we'll keep an eye on these 2 guys for the rest of the season. Up tonight, Pittsburgh Pirates at 3 Rivers Stadium. And when you think of Pittsburgh, the steel curtain comes to mind. There's Jack Lambert, Hall of Famer. 4th inning, bases loaded. Nefi Perez had too much creatine for lunch, breaks his bat in 2, and bloops in the left field. Dan Petrick scores along with Jeff Fry. 4-0 rocks. Perez went 4 for 4. For the Bucks, Enrique Wilson. Test Todd Helton's D game. Oh, come on. That's a gimme. Warren Morris and Pat Mears score, and Wilson gets a 2-run triple. Albie has 8 and 9 on the season. Mr. Helton, you got a big hit for us? You know I'm fresh out. A sacrifice fly He collected 2 ribbies. Perez tags up and scores. And the Rockies take one in the Steel City. Helton went 0 for 2, dropping to .392 in the year. They won 6-3, and Juan Pierre also went hitless, ending his hitting streak. Let's take a look at some other scores from around Major League Baseball. In the doubleheader, Los Angeles takes 2 from the Cubs, 5-3 and 3-1. And Cincinnati shuts out Florida 6-0. Houston 3-1 over Montreal. And the Mets pounce on Arizona 13-3. San Francisco destroys Philadelphia 16-3. Atlanta 7-4 over the Cardinals. And San Diego shuts out Milwaukee 4-0. In the American League, Baltimore edges out Tampa Bay 4-3, and Boston falls to Kansas City 6-2. Minnesota 8-3 over Detroit, and Texas and Toronto need extra innings, and Texas wins in a pitching duel 1-0. And Oakland destroys the Yankees 8-1. Isaiah Ryder has found another home in the NBA. But this time, he's joined a champion. The Los Angeles Lakers picked up the 6'5" sharpshooting guard because they are planning to trade assassin Glenn Rice. Ryder averaged 19 points and 4 rebounds per game with the Atlanta Hawks last season before being waived in March. His constant tardiness caused him to clash with coaches in Atlanta and Portland before that. He is a career 44% shooter from the field, including 35% from three-point range. So the Lakers take on another bad boy. They couldn't handle Rodman. We'll see if they can handle Isaiah Ryder.
It looks like the Lakers are just, they've got a
stacked.
powerhouse.
Rich get richer,
right,
you know. So
right.
if he pans out and he stays out of trouble, they could be deadly again.
So come basketball season, watch out.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to be back in just a second. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Jerry Robinson from Scottsbluff County Keno, inviting you to stop.
Is the top winner or not? You're doing great, babe, but I really need you to punch the name Roll Down. And a few sit-ups wouldn't hurt either. Take 2. I hope all the money rolls down on him. Right here.
I wonder what this button does. Oh, nuts.
Are you looking for something exciting? About a part-time job as a production assistant? You must be trustworthy, a hard worker, and honest. If this is you, then come on down and apply at KSDF News 10 Television, 3385 North 10th Street in Gehring.
All right, freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and even doggy paddling. Any way you could swim laps went to a great cause. The annual Swim Across, hosted by the American Red Cross, raised $1,100 to help others in need.
Any kid at the pool that thinks he can swim a lap, back, forwards, whatever, at the pool, he gets a packet from the pool. He goes around to mom and dad, all of his aunts and uncles, and they say, I'll give you 50 cents, I'll give you $1 if you'll swim 5 laps, if you'll swim 2 laps, so on and so forth.
Hosted at pools all around the Panhandle, and actually one of the girls right here in the area, Mary Skiles, she took first place or made the most money. So they held a pizza party at Frank Park, and they all had a good time. So a lot of, good kids out there swimming and doing it for a great cause.
There's a good way to reward somebody by pizza party.
Right, absolutely. So what's happening in the world of sports today?
Well, Bob Knight addressed the student union today, so we'll see what he had to say, and we'll take a look at action from around Major League Baseball. So stay with us for sports.
Hello, morning. Hello, cousin. Hello, sissy. Hello, locker. Hello, lunchmate. Hello, kitty. Hello, feline. Hello, fun time. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, brother. Hello, backpack. Hello, kitty.
Peace of mind. What's it worth? Keeping your vehicle in top form is the main commitment of Russell's Automotive, your Napa Auto Care Center. Your peace of mind comes from knowing that no matter where you drive, Russell's Automotive, your Napa Car Care Center's service is backed by almost 10,000 Napa Auto Care Centers nationwide. This warranty is at no charge to you and covers the repairs for 6 months or 6,000 miles. So for quality service and peace of mind, call Russell's Automotive, your Napa Auto Care Center on the Scottsbluff-Gehring Highway.
If you saw a minus sign every time there was a plus sign, you'd think this was correct too. Call now to help your child manage his learning disability. There's no reason to be held back.
Are you tired of doing the same thing day in and day out? CBS 10 News has a solution for you. We are currently looking for an ambitious individual to fill a part-time production position. Are you responsible and able to work independently? Do you have a flexible schedule? Are you detail-oriented? No experience is required. CBS 10 News will train the right person. Just call Kathy Montgomery, our station manager, today at 632-6107 or come fill out an application at 3385 North 10th Street in Gearing.
Replacement kicker Joe Nedney has extra incentive to go out and beat the Raiders this weekend in Oakland. Nedney was cut by John Gruden after the Raiders drafted Sebastian Janikowski. He was at practice today for the first time and said he had no score to settle, but makes it clear he wants to win. Nedney has signed to take the place of Jason Elam, who broke several bones in his lower back when he was blocked in last weekend's win over Atlanta. He will be cut out for the next 2 months. An estimated 6,000 students turned out at Dunn Meadow at the Indiana University campus to hear their former legendary coach speak for the last time. Basketball genius Bob Knight was fired on Sunday for crossing over the zero-tolerance boundaries put on him in mid-May. He allegedly grabbed student Ken Harvey by the arm after he addressed the coach as Knight. Bob Knight told him not to call him by his last name unless he put Coach or Mr. in front of it. At the rally, the man known as the General told the masses to let Harvey live as a student and cease with the harassment.
Let that kid be a student and let him get on with life. This thing, believe me, had happened to me long before that situation took place. Believe me, that kid is not responsible for my not coaching at Indiana, and make sure that you understand that.
Knight definitely wants to coach again and urged students to honor him by supporting IU basketball with the passion that the student body has shown in the past. With a win tonight, the Rockies will have captured their 5th series in 6 tries. It's the last game of the series against San Diego tonight, and right now the two teams are in the 8th inning with the Rockies leading 9-0. Over in the American League, the Oakland Athletics are in a hot race with the Seattle Mariners out west. They came in today's game only 1 game back of the Mariners, and who better to face than the Twins when you need a win or two. But a team like Minnesota is not who you want to face in September because they have nothing to lose and they could easily go out and beat you. We start at the top of the 2nd with Jock Jones at the plate. He gets anti-gravity, sending a shot to left, his 17th in 2000. Twins go ahead 2-0 with Jones' solo banger. Same inning, but in the bottom portion, Miguel Tejada for the A's going to a place known as the Dan Tan. His 26, which is second only to Alex Rodriguez for shortstop home run leaders, 2-1 Twins. Bottom of the 9th, A's trailing 7-4. Terrence Long hits the hole, and Ben Grieve, along with Miguel Tejada, score. Lead is cut to 1. Long represents the winning run on first base. But LaTroy Hawkins strikes out Randy Velarde to get his 12th save in as many tries. Twins win 7-6. Oakland trails by a game and a half to Seattle. The Mets have struggled mightily lately after fighting Atlanta for the top position in the National League East last month. Yesterday, they bagged just their 3rd win in September and conclude a 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers today in Flushing, New York. Jeff D'Amico takes the mound and faces Mike Hampton, who has lost his last 2 starts for the Mets. Oh, to be young and naked again. We gotta love it. First inning, Brewers first baseman Richie Sexton showing love for the Great Northwest. High pop fly to right center. You've got to coordinate. Jay Payton and Lenny Harris let it drop. Angel Echevarria scores, and the Brewers go up 1-0. Harris gets the error. Jeff D'Amico will be untouchable, pitching 8 scoreless innings and striking out 10. Here he gets Mike Piazza. Mike Hampton was also on, whiffing Sexton, logging 7 Ks and gave up the 1 unearned run. But he also got some help from his D. Raul Casanova grounds to Mike Bordick, makes like a gymnast, and throws out the first, getting a double play with a great athletic move by the former Oriole. They head to extra innings, 10th frame, 2-man on, 2 out for Jay Payton. Oh, does it hurt? Does it hurt? That's the ball game. Mets win 4-1, and Curtis Lestanek drew a save in the 9th, his first as the closer. Let's take a look at some other Major League Baseball action. Cincinnati clobbers the Cubs 13-3. Pittsburgh drops 1 to the Cardinals 9-5. Atlanta shuts out Florida 4-0, and San Francisco edges the Astros of Houston 3-2. Cleveland 10-3, getting past Boston, and Toronto just gets beat 3-2 against the Yankees. White Sox in a pitcher's duel against Detroit 1-0, and Baltimore 9-4 against the Rangers of Texas. Left winger John LeClair is now in position to become an unrestricted free agent after this season because talks between the Flyers and LeClair have broken down. General Manager Bobby Clark said on Monday that he was disappointed that the sides could not reach an agreement. LeClair said he doubted that talks would resume during the season. He won the largest arbitration award in NHL history last month, getting a one-year deal worth $7 million. He made $3.96 million last season. For the past 5 years, LeClair has scored an NHL high 235 goals and has been an all-star since he joined Philadelphia in 1995. In 2000, John LeClair scored 40 goals and 77 points. Nebraska has the week off after taking care of Notre Dame in South Bend on Saturday. They will spend a good portion of practice on special teams, though. They gave up a punt and kick return for touchdowns against the Irish. A big showdown this weekend takes place in the Rose Bowl, and number 3 Michigan travels to Pasadena to take on the 14th-ranked Bruins of UCLA. The Pac-10 squad has already dampened Alabama's hopes of a national title, and they beat the Crimson Tide in Week 1. Michigan's quarterback worries have seemed to be put to rest after 2 stellar games from sophomore John Navarre. Drew Henson was supposed to be the starter but broke his foot before the start of the season. The Wolverine defense will have to deal with junior running back Deshaun Foster.
I know he can break a lot of tackles. I mean, we got to hit and wrap, just put pressure on him as soon as he touches the ball. We just got to get all over him.
Like Tom Brady and, Brian Greasy used to be. They just have that aura where, it doesn't seem like anything gets to him. And he's definitely a poised guy. He doesn't show his emotions very much, and he's out there just worried about the play that's about to happen right then. He's not worried about
big game for Michigan and UCLA this weekend. So.
All right. Well, thanks for sports. We're going to be back in a second. Don't change the channel.
Do you know who I am? Am I a P or a D? Q, perhaps, or a B. I am dyslexia, and millions of kids struggle with me every time they read. Call now to help your child manage his learning disability. There's no reason to be held back.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight here at 10. Of course, we're going to be back again tomorrow, so we'll see you then.
Good night.
CBS 10 would like to thank Classic Designers for providing hair, color, and design.
If you have an interesting news tip or news story, call us here at KSTF. The number is 632-6107. Or you can email us at kstf@prairieweb.com.
Consult your professionals, Bentley Donovan Fine Jewelry.
Paul Schaefer!